So basically what you're telling me is to avoid the aquarium in the zombie apocalypse unless you want to meet a shark with human zombies coming from its stomach and acting as legs for it to run. That's the most built different zombie I think I've ever seen across any media, and I love it. Now, this episode literally takes jumping the shark to a brand new meaning. Usually that term, you use it as a way to say a show bit off a little more than it could chew. It literally jumped the shark and went into territory that people just couldn't accept or would enjoy. But here, no, Akira literally jumps the shark and beats the living shit out of it with an electric punch from his superhero costume, and somehow it all works. JoJo, it just works. Now, there is a bit of bad news. So, episode 6, there is a legit reason for this, mind you, but episode 6 of Zom 100 has been delayed. So basically, there's a lot of sporting things going on in the world, and like with any anime TV station, if it overlaps with sporting events, so in this case, the World Championship, ultimately what will happen is episodes get delayed to usually the next week. It happens all the time, and it's not because of production issues, it's because sporting events take up the TV slots, and streaming sites can't air the episodes until the TV slots do. However, I think given the fact that there's already been 2 legit delays with this show, one with streaming sites not getting the episodes early, forcing it to a Monday release, and then, of course, with episode 5 being delayed an extra week. I think we are witnessing a lot of behind-the-scenes things that are going to cause this show to break down sooner rather than later. Now, you can look at episode 5 and it looks fantastic, but it does get you worried, but at the very least, at least this delay is a legit one, even if maybe they probably would have delayed it no matter what, even if sporting events didn't overlap. But it was a great episode. We can't deny it. It looked great, it sounded great, it was great. It's just, you do have to be worried if we're about to suffer an uncle from another world situation where, goddamn, it's gonna be a rough ride to the finish. But as long as the episodes can look as good as they're currently, I guess we have nothing really to complain about. We just have to wish the animators the best. Now, I do have a full live reaction to today's wonderful Zom 100 episode available on my Patreon if you would like to see my full thoughts as we watch Zombie. Honestly, this is like the real Meg 2, let's be honest here. It's over there if you're interested. Now, this was a great episode. Definitely brings up some questions, like I never really considered it, but when we see it start raining, I just immediately think, like, wait a second, he has that giant flat screen on the middle of the roof. Like, is that thing gonna be okay? Like, I don't think he has a tarp that protects it. Like, I started asking the wrong questions, I'm sure, but I do start wondering about this free lifestyle he's living and how, you know, does he just replace the TV when it malfunctions? I don't know. How long is the power grid gonna stay up in the zombie apocalypse? I don't know. Akira is apparently getting digits of Shizuka here, and honestly, respect to the boy. He's picking up girls in the zombie apocalypse. He's making Ken proud. Why is Ken's ass always on screen? I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns about this, but it's hard not to get a kick out of any episode of Zom 100. And I like the idea that we end with the previous episode, him wanting to find his childhood dream. We start this episode off with him immediately finding it, and then instead of just trying to find the childhood dream, it's, I'm going to become a superhero. And honestly, as corny and cheesy as it might sound, I like the route they went. So, in a lot of zombie stories, you notice these characters are always fearful of bites, but they always have, like, their bare arms exposed. It's like, okay, if a zombie bite can kill you, why aren't you at the very least wearing leather or denim or something that would at least protect you a bit? Akira went the extra route. He looks a little goofy and corny, but goddamn, basically having chainmail, all things considered, something that would protect you from shark bites. Yeah, you're still gonna feel the compression of the bite because it's not gonna absorb the impact, but it will stop you from being pierced. It's really intelligent because we've already established in, I think it was the first episode, when he tossed that boss of his out the window when his crush from work and him were sleeping together, right? Like, we know he has the sporting skills to have some insane tackling abilities. Give him a suit that can protect him from zombie bites, and you have one hell of a superhero, all things considered. It was really cool, though, because they had some fun where Ken just kind of, like, dips. He wants nothing to do with it. He's like, hey, I don't have a suit. You're the one who wanted to be a superhero. Later, bro. He's not worried his friend's gonna die. He's just like, ain't no way am I going out in that zombie storm. And they had a lot of fun. There was a lot of fun moments with the zombies. I like how you have more classical zombie direction. Like, okay, there's a bus full of people. Well, we can't drive through. Let's wait for them on the outside to leave. Someone inside the bus turns and it just becomes absolute chaos in hell. And I like how one of the things I think we've all been excited about was the difference in beliefs and ideals between our 2 central characters here. One with a bucket list of the dead, things to do before you die, and a bucket of the living, basically what to do to avoid being killed. And I think in general, these 2 will probably bring out more of a middle ground in each other, where Akira probably will eventually tone down a bit, maybe start treating things a little more seriously over time, not immediately by any means, but there's arguments to be made that maybe he takes it a little too unserious in a way, where she maybe is a little too serious and avoids having any fun, which, yes, it is the zombie apocalypse, but what's the point of surviving the zombie apocalypse if you're not going to at least enjoy some of the moments that you still have? Like, you might as well just go off yourself if that's the way you're feeling, right? There's just no point in living if it's just out of fear and there's nothing to enjoy, right? Like, the world isn't going to get magically better more than likely. So it's interesting to see the different directions they're going and how they use this kind of shark fight as a way to bring them together, because for her, she's like, bro, like, why would you do that? There's no reason. You're going to get me killed if I stick with you, to only having the dumbass jump out and basically jump the shark in order to save her ass. And the idea of using the electrical punch with discharging the batteries after it, that shark, man, it launching fish from the aquarium. Thank God it wasn't swordfish, because that would have stung like a biatch if that hit them. It was really cool. Obviously, I would have liked seeing the electrical punch be a little more brighter in anime form, but I understand why they dimmed it down, because otherwise there would have been probably a lot of epileptic seizures and stuff because bright lights flashing. I mean, yeah, they could have done like a warning, but I think it's fine having it be a little more dim. You still got across what it was. It's just, you can tell maybe in the BD release, it'll probably be a bit brighter just because obviously you have to be careful with flashing lights and stuff in media. But overall, it was really cool, very creative. I wasn't sure what was happening. I mean, at first I was like, oh, it's just zombies inside the shark. I thought what was happening was like maybe the zombies, yeah, they got ate by the shark and now it ripped through and it's running. And I was like, wait, is the shark a zombie? I was like, oh wait, no, the shark's just kind of half alive and it just literally ate zombies who then in return are walking, and just the way then it would start using the water after it broke the aquarium to kind of swim around. It was insane. It absolutely was. And you have to admit, this show, it knows how to stick out in the zombie medium. Like, at some points, I feel like I'm playing Dead Rising with some of the goofy shit that I'm seeing in this show. At other points, I feel like it's pure psychological horror, and it's just, like, the moral of the show is, like, when everyone else around you is dead, life finally begins. Yeah, he's happy and thinks his parents will probably still be alive, but at the end of the day, when everyone started dying around him, that's where his life truly began. And from Ken finally being able to dye his hair, not having to worry about looking professional, to our boy just enjoying life, it's one hell of a zombie ride, and I can't wait for more. Now, of course, those are my feelings. I'm obviously very excited for episode 6. I'm more than happy to wait as many weeks as needed, especially if it means animators can get an extra bit of time to work on it. But, you know, this industry be wild, man. It is, and I don't think this will be the last delay, and I don't think we're going to have many more sporting delays overlap with this to avoid covering up, you know, all the mismanagement that's going on with this production committee. But I digress. Let me know what you thought of episode 5 of Zom 100 down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell so you can get notified when I upload more videos to the channel. And of course, like I mentioned, I do have that full live reaction available on my Patreon, and hey, while you're there, you also get a video shout out. So today we have Tanzero, Janice Mary, Pokemon 222, 888, Wujan, Mr. Yoke, and Proof Space. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.